Hey there folks, welcome back to the Gamer's Grotto. It's been about 3 months since we last played Alan Wake. Do you guys remember what happened? I do. I'm just testing to see if you guys did. Anyway, thank you for joining me for... Have a good night. No, I'm just... yeah, so we're continuing where we left off from 3 months ago. Where Alan Wake, yes, I remember actually. Surprisingly enough, I do remember what happened. So where we last left off 3 months ago, Alan Wake was attacked by Barbara Jagger, who turned into like this tornado thing and threw him over the edge of a cliff into Cauldron Lake. And that's kind of where we ended. Now, just in case my word isn't good enough, we do have the recaps per episode. So we're going to be looking at the recap and going into part 4 of Alan Wake. I do apologize for the delay in this. This is quite a long delay in getting out the 4th episode. I just got really distracted with other games. And honestly, Alan Wake for me is a very stressful game because the enemies kind of I don't feel like they're randomly generated, but and it's really a game of take them down before they take you down, and horror games, even though it's not terribly scary. But yeah, so we're gonna be hopping right into this right now. Let's play some more of Alan Wake 3 months later on the PlayStation 5.
Previously on Alan Wake, I'm hunted by the law.
Sheriff, Wake's running. I'm giving chase.
Are you seriously telling me that writer just took out my deputies?
A thriller I supposedly wrote is coming true. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I was told that Alice had been kidnapped, but that was a lie.
We don't have his wife. We don't know where she is.
Her purported kidnapper was eaten up by the dark presence before it attacked me.
Alan, shh, baby. It was just a nightmare.
Alice.
There you go, Alan.
Hartman. I fell.
I had to give you a sedative. Don't fight it. You went through another rough period.
What?
Right now, it's very important that you stay calm. We don't want you to have another episode. You're a patient at my clinic. Have been for a while now. The shock of your wife's death triggered a mental illness.
No, you're lying.
You're suffering from various symptoms of undifferentiated schizophrenia.
Bastard.
It's okay, Alan. Just let go.
I felt groggy. Whatever Hartman had bumped in me was making me numb. I felt like this was happening to someone else. Someone I was watching on television. I couldn't think. Couldn't focus. There were only empty sheets of paper here. No manuscript pages.
I'm sorry, what just happened there? Did the chair just attack me when I ran into it? That was very strange. That seems like a glitch to me. Oh, here's
Good evening, Alan. Are we feeling better?
Hartman.
Feeling calm?
Yeah, I see you brought your pet gorilla with you. So sure, I'm calm. I get the message. Loud and clear.
Quite right. That's the spirit. You're being very brave, Alan. I understand you're confused. I would be more concerned if you weren't suspicious of me. I don't blame you for it.
Big of you.
Now, why don't you come with me? We'll reacquaint you with my clinic and go over everything you might have forgotten. Little walk and some fresh air? Yes, it will do you good. This corridor is for patients. Most of them aren't here right now. Jack took them out for a fishing trip, except for the ones who are particularly vulnerable, of course. I encourage creativity as a part of the recovery process here at Cauldron Lake Lodge. I specialize in treating artists.
I bet you do.
Splendid, Alan. I honestly believe we can get this thing under control if we work together. This way, Alan.
Okay, can you imagine the nerve of creating a kind of a secluded, away from everybody, kind of like, for lack of a better word, a mental institution for people who are artists, but then going around and putting up posters of yourself advertising your books in your own asylum? Like, what kind of a nutcase? He's just... I feel like he deserves to be in this place more than Alan Wake does. Let's be fair.
Now, Alan, from past experience with you, I know I need to get right into the heart of the matter as quickly as I can after an episode. So I'm just going to say this. Alice is dead.
No.
You're in a very vulnerable state until you understand and accept this. Alice drowned, and you couldn't face that. You're suffering from hallucinations, paranoid delusions, unusual thinking, an obsession about light and darkness, a feeling that everything revolves around you, your thoughts and dreams. Your mind has constructed an elaborate fantasy scenario in which your writings are affecting reality. She has been kidnapped and supernatural forces of darkness are trying to stop you. We go this way, Alan.
I wasn't ready for another shot, so I went along with it. He had to be lying. But under the influence of the drug he had given me, I had to fight not to believe his words.
It's all in your head. You've been making it up. Apart from the tragic accident with your wife, no one has been killed. Your delusions are just a manifestation of your subconscious mind trying to protect you from the too painful truth. Unless we fight the fantasy, it will return. I know the instinct is to resist me, but think about it. Doesn't this make far more sense than the insane supernatural conspiracy you have concocted in your mind? You're a skeptic by nature, Alan. We both know this. Everything can be explained logically.
Beyond the shadow you settle for, there's a miracle illuminated. TZ. That would be Thomas Zane, of course, in the memory of a dear friend and a poet.
I never get tired of this view. Very inspiring, isn't it?
Cauldron Lake spread below us. I could see Mirror Peak on the other side of the lake. I thought I could make out the spot where Diver's Isle had been when I arrived with Alice. Now there was nothing but waves.
It seems there's a storm coming. Funny, I don't recall there being a mention of that in the weather forecast. Well, no matter. This way. Follow me.
So yeah, if you've been watching this live stream from the beginning, and probably gave up that I was ever going to continue it because it was 3 months later, the cabin that Alan and his wife were staying at...
Admit that you're not well. It's very natural for you to think of me as your enemy. It's part of the...
I let him talk. Hartman obviously loved his own voice. His words echoed madly inside my head. I dug my nails into the palms of my hands to stay focused.
You need to work with me. Once you accept that, we can begin the journey towards your recovery.
Yeah, so there is no... realistically, this game, there is no... I don't believe there is no actual truth in anything, really. This game is very psychological, and you never really find out... At least not in this game. I haven't played American Nightmare, which is like a standalone sequel. Doubt. Is his wife dead? But or did he even have a wife to begin with? Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of all over the place. And it never really ended with any kind of a solution. Like I remember when it ended, and I was like, that's it. But then they had the two expand further into the story, but then again, never really resolved anything. I mean, so the game definitely doesn't have a happy ending like most games. It just kind of ends. And now I heard that Sam Lake has said that yes, he is working on Alan Wake 2 for next-gen consoles, so the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. And stuff like that. So we might get a proper ending to Alan Wake, or he may just again and release because he was saying in interviews that he's going with a different style for Alan Wake 2. He's going to make it more survival horror than it was before, because apparently in his mind this wasn't survival horror. This was like action adventure, and I'm thinking to myself, no, it was survival horror. You're running around the woods in the middle of the night, being attacked left, right, and center with very limited weapons and supplies. If that's not survival horror, I don't know what is. So if you're saying that the first game is not survival horror and you're going to make the second one survival horror, then you're going to make the second one pretty much impossible to beat. Because... I mean, the first one's crazy hard at spots as it is, and then to say, well, no, that was an adventure game. What? So it's going to be interesting. I will get the sequel at some point whenever it releases. It's not supposed to be out until 2023, so we got a bit of a time there. But the fact that he said that was like, I'm like thinking to myself, you know, I'm kind of worried for Alan Wake 2 if he says something like that, because I feel like he's just going to make it impossibly hard. And if it's going to be like one of those survival horror games where there's no break in the action, I hate those. I cannot stand them. I like survival horror games, but I like survival horror games where it's not just running around trying to survive. It's running around trying to survive for a bit, then there's a downtime where you don't have to worry about being attacked. You can just understand the story a bit more, maybe get a bit of a background, and then go back into the survival horror elements. That's the kind of survival horror I like. And I can't stand survival horror games where you're constantly on the run and you're constantly trying to survive. I hate those, because even in horror movies, you need a break in the action. You need it's a regular thing. You need a break in all of that. You can't just have constant horror, because that's just going to drive people nuts. I also love how I think his name is Emil Hartman. Anyway, I love how he walks. He walks so douchebaggy. Like, you know what I mean? They're really trying to rub across the point that he's a complete and utter douchebag, because he like walks with one hand clutched to his chest, and he's just so... Well, he's an egotist, number one, but he's just such a dumbass. He's just like really everything about... He's made for you to hate. He literally is. And they've literally made him as a character that they want you to hate.
Here's the entrance to the office wing. That's for staff only. You were impressed by my trophies when you first arrived here. I do love to hunt. The great outdoors, man versus nature. It's wonderful stuff.
Pretty damn wonderful, yeah. Scary, scary, scary.
Emerson.
I'm a real bad dream, mister. You should be afraid of me. Don't want to run into me in the night, that's for sure.
Please, Emerson. Mr. Wake is confused enough as it is.
Yeah, you'd like me to go away so you won't be scared. But you can't just decide what kind of dream you have or when you have it.
Emerson.
Okay. Sorry. Boo.
That's Emerson. We're actually making some progress with him, I'm happy to say. He works on
Elbow
video
strike.
games.
Ooh, yeah.
It's trash, of course, but it does involve some
to the head.
small creative effort, which makes him receptive to my therapeutic methods.
No kidding.
Wait a minute. What? Did you just broke the fourth wall? Okay, so he's in here because he's a video game programmer who works on video games, and video games are trash? Well, what the hell am I playing right now? Like, okay, that was interesting. Typical of Sam Lake, though. He always kind of did that in his games. Kind of broke the fourth wall and everything. For those who don't know, Sam Lake was the creator of Quantum Break, which is a Xbox exclusive game, which is really good, and it's all about time travel. He was also the creator of Max Payne. He made all the Max Payne games, and for anybody who grew up in that timeline, like I'd say the mid 90s, early 2000s, Max Payne was really a very popular game. And a lot of people loved it. And still to this day, a lot of people love it. It's considered to be one of the best action-adventure games of its time. And a lot of the voice actors from Max Payne are actually in this game.
Oh, hello. I've painted you.
Okay.
I was just struck by inspiration a couple of days ago. Dr. Hartman wanted me to paint landscapes, and that's what I was doing. But now I've been doing these things, a lot of them. The images just keep coming. Dr. Hartman likes them. He has them in his office.
Yeah?
He's very proud of me. He says I'm getting much better. I think I'm getting better. Well, I guess I'd better start wrapping this up. The storm is almost here. Look at that. I'd hate to be out there tonight.
That's your rendition of Alan Wake? Why is it so demonic? That's slightly disturbing. I get what he's doing. He's painting Alan Wake if he's possessed by the darkness, which is kind of foreshadowing in a sense. I don't want to ruin too much, but there is a bit of foreshadowing there. Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Now, you might have noticed the typewriter in your room. You've been writing as a part of the therapy. As soon as you feel up to it, you should continue.
Welcome to Cauldron Lake Lodge. We're here to give you the specialized help you need. However, please observe the following. Please ask friends and family to schedule visits beforehand to ensure they don't interfere with your therapy and/or periods of creativity. Also, please respect your fellow patients' needs for privacy and personal space, especially when they're engaged by their creative processes. Be patient. Typically, our patients have long-term creative problems, and they won't be solved overnight. Give yourself permission to take the time you need. Bear in mind that you're voluntarily receiving treatment that has been specifically tailored for you. Engagement therapy and its sister method, the flow, work best when you are actively engaged in shaping them. If you have any concerns, please don't hesitate to voice them.
My rheumatism's killing me. There's a storm coming. Oh, what a storm.
I hope it wipes this place off the face of the earth.
And these two are the Anderson brothers, Odin and Thor. They had how should I put this? A heavy metal band in the 70s and 80s called Old Gods of Asgard. They even adopted new first names to complete the image of Viking gods. After the band broke up, they lived on a farm nearby. They are, well, in advanced stages of dementia. They're well cared for, TLC and all that. There's nothing more that can be done. I'm afraid that the rock and roll lifestyle has left its mark.
Oh, that won't do. I'm so sorry to cut this short for now, Alan. The power has been acting up. I'd better go check on it. We'll continue this soon. Meanwhile, when you feel up to it, return to your room and try to write. It really is for the best. Don't you think?
I'd like to bash his head in with a hammer.
Oh, he'd love to fish out our secrets, but he has no clue. He's not crazy enough. Not crazy like us, Sonny.
Yeah!
Being crazy's a requirement, Sonny. Who else could understand the world when it's like this? It takes crazy to know crazy.
That's the sanest thing I've heard in a while.
Say, you're all right, Tom. Hey, we like him, don't we, bro? He's got to go to the farm.
The Anderson Farm. Valhalla!
We wrote it all down, lest we forget. A crash course all you need to know to get your head right. You need to find the message.
Here, Sonny, here's something for you. Gave me a rash, but I kept it safe from these bastards.
My head was clearing up, or according to Hartman, I was sinking back into the fantasy. I was convinced he was lying to me about everything. Crazy or not, the Andersons made more sense.
Tom, you got any booze on you?
Yeah, no. Sorry,
we have
guys.
a stash of the special stuff at the farm. Our own formula. Local ingredients. Medicine clears your head right up. Makes you remember like moonbeams on the brain.
Oh, I just noticed. Leather patches on the elbows? That's not very rock and roll.
Tom just lost is all. Baba Yaga got to him too, the damn witch.
She used us all. Taken from all of us. Took my thunder, the witch.
And my ravens. What were they? Memory and thought. The hag.
She took something from you too, didn't she? That's what she does.
We're better off. This place, the lake, it gives you power. If you're a creator, an artist, a god.
Nightmares shifted in their sleep in the darkness of the lake.
Yeah, that's the one. She makes sure it comes out twisted and raw. Just ask the lamp lady. She knows what happened to that other rider.
She's been using you, boy, and you let her. You went and opened the door for her, didn't you?
Now, it was already open a crack. And whose fault is that? We're morally corrupt, disease-ridden, old and stupid.
Doesn't mean he had to open it all the way, goddammit.
The irony is that what they're saying, they're not even close to having dementia. There's no way, because everything they're saying is accurate. When they're talking about the witch, they're talking about Barbara Jagger, who is actually the darkness that's taken Alan's wife from him and everything. So it's really interesting. There's a lot involved in the game, and it's definitely, like I said, it's definitely one of my favorite horror games.
Only in your head, and they're not there when you wake up. So you can't wake up because I'm in charge now, and I don't want to disappear. My nightmare is the publisher people who want to make a contribution so they can say they made a contribution. And then we end up with mullets in there because they think mullets are funny, but it wasn't supposed to be about mullets. And now it's about mullets. And when it's in slow motion, they call it mullet time because the numbers came back from marketing that mullet time is the hook we needed to go big in the target demographic. And they're not even kidding. They say it all like serial killers with straight faces and smiles. My nightmare is the writers who want to make everything from the characters to the toasters talk all the time and express their feelings so they won't shut up. And the writers won't shut up either because they have feelings too. And I have to listen to them because they're not scared of me. And everyone should just shut up. Shut up. Shut up. But I don't see nightmares anymore because I'm too scary for them. I take 2 pills every morning and 1 with every meal and 4 when I go to bed. And that makes me the scariest nightmare of all.
He's literally talking about Alan Wake. The mullet time. It's a parody of Bullet Time, which was or not Alan Wake. Sorry, Max Payne. He's literally talking about the Max Payne game, Bullet Time, which was. They were one of the first, Remedy and Sam Lake, I believe, were one of the first game companies to utilize bullet time. And a lot of people said that they ripped it off of the Matrix movies, but realistically, I believe Max Payne came first, and the Matrix came shortly thereafter.
Why don't you humor Dr. Hartman and give the writing a shot, huh? Typewriter and get to your room by those stairs, Wake.
And realistically, the very first movies to use bullet time, which they back then called bullet dancing, were the John Woo films, which used a lot of slow motion bullet dancing, bullet time kind of effects. And that was long before Alan Wake and Max Payne, and long before the Matrix films.
Something's wrong. I'm not myself. It's hard to think that there's a shadow inside my head. I can only focus on writing. Everything else is a blur. I'm trapped in this cabin. Have been for days, but it's always dark outside. My editor is real. I saw her again. She's not human. It's not human. A dark presence is wearing the old woman's face. She was covered in clinging shadows. There's a hole in her chest where her heart should be. I think I've made a horrible mistake. I don't think I'm any closer to saving Alice. It's been lying to me, using me to get the story it wants, and the story will come true. Hartman wanted me to write. I knew I couldn't, but I figured I should just play along for now. It was the only thing I could do with Nurse Birch watching me like a hawk.
What is that? That was never in the original game. So this is a remaster of Alan Wake, but why is there a QR code here? I don't have a QR code scanner, but that's really interesting. It's probably going to take you to the Alan Wake website or something.
The white glare of the blank page in front of me hurt my eyes. My hands began to shake uncontrollably.
Everybody calm down. Put that down. Bert, I need help.
Hey, Wake, you stay here. I'm gonna go see what's up. You just keep doing what you're doing. Be cool, okay?
I didn't know what the chaos was all about, but it could be my only chance of getting out of here.
Where the hell did he get a damn hammer?
I don't know.
Here's a friendly poke from Mjolnir, wench.
Oh, afraid of the crazy brothers, are ya? Not so weak now, are we? Well, things are unraveling fast,
Sinclair looked
aren't they?
bad. That wasn't a love tap. The crazy old fart hit her hard. And if she was one of Hartman's goons, she had it coming. I could get the key to the office from Sinclair.
The backstage is all yours.
I had to get to
Tom.
Hartman's office.
Seize your
He had taken all
destiny.
my manuscript pages. That's where he'd been keeping them.
Come out and face the music, Birch. It's time to pay the piper.
Maybe you could come out and beat our wicked adult diapered ass, since you're so tough, Bert.
The photo on the wall caught my attention. In it, the clinic staff was standing outside the lodge. I knew the man next to Hartman. He was the kidnapper. Hartman had been playing me all along. The markings on the tape said they were recordings Hartman had made at the sessions with his patients. I saw Alice's name on one of them. For a moment, I couldn't breathe right.
tell me about Alan's problems?
He's more and more out of control all the time. The parties, he's so angry all the time. He's getting violent.
Do you mean with you?
No, not with me. No, never. Sometimes I almost wish Alan would take a swing at me, because at least that'd lead to a conversation he couldn't just march out of. But no. Alan doesn't really sleep. And the work, well, he's not writing. At all. He sits there for hours and just gets more and more frustrated. And I can't talk to him.
Yes. Tell me, Mrs. Wake. What would you say to him if he'd listen?
I don't know. I want to say, I look at you, and it's not you. Just some stranger who resembles you. Looking out from behind your eyes. And I don't like that guy much. And now it's all gonna go to hell.
But you don't ever say this.
No. I've tried, but he's not listening. He's too deep in his own problems. Always going on about something else. I'm so afraid I'm gonna lose him. And we're not even talking anymore. He doesn't let me in anymore. He just keeps me in the dark. I'm so alone here, even when he's home. Please help me, Doctor, because I'm at my wit's end.
Well, if you can just get him here, I'll absolutely do my very best.
Yeah, but Doctor, you need to be careful with him. He's not just going to listen to you and cooperate. He's the most stubborn man I've ever met.
Well, I'll be sure to bear that in mind.
Hearing her voice, what she was saying made me happy and sick and guilty all at once. Worst of all, I recognized the words. The phone call from her. It had been a cut-up of this. Just a recording.
Rudolph Lane's case is interesting. He was completely blocked, and frankly, I was about to discard him as useless. However, once Wake arrived and started writing, something changed in Rudolph. He's producing extraordinary work, increasingly dark pieces. Unfortunately, he doesn't respond to direction at all, and it's my belief that he's not so much a creator as an illustrator, perhaps, a recorder of sorts. I hadn't considered the existence of such a role before, let alone its implications, but the paintings he has produced are informative. At least he's easily controlled and useful. I wish I could say the same about Wake. It's frustrating that the best subjects are always so damn difficult to deal with.
Not buying that. I was tailing Wheeler, and this is the only place he could have gone. That means Wake is probably there too!
Agent Nightingale, this is private property, and I will not allow you to disturb my patients.
Yeah? I can get a warrant. How'd your fragile little patients like that?
Oh, I'm thoroughly intimidated by your mighty authority now, Agent.
Listen, you smug snob. How would you like it if I busted through this gate and knocked you around a little?
Agent Nightingale, first of all, I'm recording this conversation, so you might want to watch what you say. Secondly, you're not dealing with a hick now. I know the law, and if you can get a judge to grant a warrant, I'll be glad to cooperate. But you won't get one. Be advised that any further communications with me are to be made through my lawyer.
I don't believe this.
Good day, Agent.
Yeah.
Let me out of here! Hartman, do you hear me? I'm gonna sue your crazy quack ass to shreds! Seriously! Do you have any idea how much trouble you're in? I am famous. I represent a celebrity. They'll be looking for me. Oh, that's how you want to play it? Is that how you want to play it? Really? Okay, that's how we'll play it. It'll be hardball. All the way, jerk. Seriously, man, I'm willing to forget the whole thing if you let me out now. Just let me out! Hey, you think I can't hear you out there? I hear you just fine. What, is this how you get your kicks, Hartman? I knew you were weird. You got that weird guy look. If you're one of those nurses, I'll double what he's paying you, okay? Do you have any idea how much I make as an agent of a best-selling writer? A lot. Is a personal check good?
Barry?
Ow! About time!
Barry, man, am I glad to see you. We need to get to Hartman's office.
It's right next door.
You okay?
Yeah. I mean, no! The cops found me at Rose's trailer, but they didn't hassle me too much. I'm obviously a victim in this, and I demanded to be treated as such. Or else I'd sue their asses. Speaking of asses, that vet gave me a real hard time, but I had no clue where you were. That guy's crazy, Alan. But he let me go, and then I get a call from Hartman, that son of a bitch, who tells me you're here, and I should come pick you up, but when I got here, 2 goons clobbered me and stuck me in there.
What's with the cutout?
I stole it from the diner to piss off Rose after what she did to us. That'll teach her.
Yeah, that's a harsh punishment. Come on, pal, we gotta get going. These were all the pages I had on me. And more.
Alan, please. You're sliding back into the...
Tell me one more lie and I'll shoot you in the face.
Ah, well, it was worth a shot. Really, Wake, come on. Let's work together on this. You have no idea...
Hartman, shut up! Barry, get out of here. I'll catch up with you. Get a car.
Oh, Al, let's just...
Go!
Wake, listen to me. This is a mistake. Don't you see? Together we can create something absolutely wonderful. With your ability and mine.
Well, looks like Barbara Jagger and the Darkness have arrived.
felt its shadow on us. A shiver down your back, a glimpse from the corner of the eye. You can't find it on purpose, but take a wrong turn, board the wrong bus, wonder where you are when you wake up, and you will find yourself in the small town of Night Springs. Tonight's episode, The Dunes Marathon. Sometimes, even the simplest things prove impossible. Consider, you get in a car and leave a life behind. Easy? Not tonight.
Thanks for the ride, Mark. I'm so glad to be leaving this place. You have no idea.
What, Night Springs? Come on, Linda, relax. It's not that bad. Hey, what's that up ahead?
Oh, God. There's someone on the road. I think there's been an accident. Are you alright?
Oh no, Linda! Oh no! It was me on the road! Wait! Tell him to watch out for the truck! Watch out for the truck!
My God, Mark?
Oh, God! No! Please! God, no! Linda! Linda!
Thanks for the ride, Mark. I'm so glad to be leaving this place.
What, Night Springs? Come on, Linda, relax. It's not that bad. Hey, what's that up ahead?
Oh, God. There's someone in the road. I think there's been an accident. Are you alright?
Oh no, Linda! Oh no! It was me on the road! Wait! Tell him to watch out for the truck! Watch out for the truck!
My God, Mark?
And there you have it. A vicious circle, brutally punctuated by the blast of arrows and screaming metal. Many roads are dangerous, but none more so than the one that leads away from Night Springs. Magic, parlor tricks, smoking mirrors. But for some, magic is more than that. It's a way of working the secret machinery of reality itself. And more than one member of the Eldritch Brotherhood can be found in Night Springs. Tonight's episode, What's in a Name? We find an old man standing on an old, rusting, derelict bridge, leaning his bony frame against the cold steel. And though he looks idle, he is hard at work. His young apprentice attends to him, as good apprentices do.
Yes, yes. Coming along nicely. Don't you think, boy?
Let's make this.
Sir, we've been getting some complaints. Are you defacing the bridge?
Oh. No, I wouldn't do that.
Sir, I can see the screwdriver in your hand and the scratches on the steel beams. You've been spotted doing this all over town.
Yes, I have been very busy, but I'm no vandal, officer.
Exactly what are you up to, sir?
He's writing his name on the town.
The youngster is correct. I'm writing my name, my whole name, the entire and complete description of my soul on the town. I'm almost done.
Yeah? Well, all I see is an old man tagging public property.
Oh, I should bow down to the wisdom of your years. Words have power, young man. Names and titles especially.
Uh-huh. And, what's your name supposed to be?
Tell him, boy. Tell him while I finish the carving.
Officer, it's...
Say my name, boy. Say it.
It's Night Springs, officer.
But isn't that... That's the name of the town, isn't it?
Yes, it is from now on.
Wait, where'd he go? Where is he?
Oh, officer. You know where he is, and what he is, don't you? I think you should get in your car and drive away, and remember which town you're serving.
too many little towns to count, all of them with some little magic of their own. But some towns have more personality than others, and none more so than Night Springs.
This part of the game is really annoying. You gotta have to be really quick on your toes here, because that thing will kill you pretty quickly. So basically, the darkness is gonna hurl that giant-ass ball at me, and I have to run back here and go into this corner. And then, as the ball's bouncing around in this hallway, I have to go through that door.
The car, but the gate's locked. You're gonna have to go through the hedge maze over there.
Barry, I don't have a light.
Take this, Al. Oh, God! Look at the house, Al! Look out!
So at this point in the game, because it's close to the end of the game, there's only one more chapter after this, the darkness kind of hurls everything at you. So while you're going through this hedge maze and trying to find the way out of it, the darkness is constantly stalking you throughout the hedge maze. And given that you only have so many bullets and so many flares, you're really screwed. It's more of a game of run or die. Don't trust Emil. Like, seriously, you're kind of sending that a bit late, aren't you?
Channel. We'll turn it off. We don't want any fighting. It you get 2 pills in the morning, and then you'll be normal.
So at least we now know what happened to Dr. Hartman. He got possessed by the darkness, and Alan Wake killed him.
Mott knew that Wake was smarter than him. Wake had more money, a beautiful wife, everything. And Hartman said Wake was important. That made him better than Mott. But Mott was calling the shots now. He'd expected Wake to whimper and grovel, but instead, he seemed willing to fight. Mott knew he'd gotten under Wake's skin. If only Mott actually had his wife. The thought made him shiver.
So because this is the last area before you leave Hartman's psychiatric ward, whatever the hell it is, there is a lot of guys in this area. So as soon as you get to the far end, there's a lot of darkness people that spawn in, and you need to kill every single one of them in order to get the cutscene to leave this area. So it is really annoying. Luckily, I have a hunting rifle now, so I should be good. I have died here before because you kind of have to. In Alan Wake, you really have to pay attention to all of the people on the screen, all of the darkness people, because they can teleport. They can end up behind you at any given time. They can end up beside you. They can end up, 3 feet in front of you. You never know. So you're kind of having to spin around constantly and looking out for them and making sure that you don't get attacked from all angles. Yeah, I was actually wrong. That wasn't the final area. The final area is, I believe, up these stairs here. Yeah, and that area up there is where all the guys come at you. So, I'm glad I kept my. I should load my gun. I'm glad I kept my rifle handy because I'm probably going to need it at that spot. thank God for 3D audio. I heard those footsteps coming up behind me even before getting over to this supply chest. I was like, oh yeah, they're after me. Okay, you know what? I never realized how much extra supplies they give you, because I don't think when I first played the game I saw the that table over there with all the extra ammo and stuff. Yeah, I would have missed that. So to me this felt a lot harder than it probably needed to be. Yeah, because I have a lot more ammo now. I should be able to handle this fine within reason. As long as no bad guys kind of creep up behind me or anything, I should be good. So my objective here now is to get up to where Barry is, and then that's when all the darkness starts spawning at me and kind of throwing things at me and going crazy. Then I gotta kill all the darkness that comes after me, and then I'm able to escape this crazy place with Barry.
Let's get out of here. Can you open this gate?
Maybe.
Barry.
Well, I slammed it shut when the Nasty showed up, and the key fits kind of loose in the lock, so, Barry! I'll find it, don't worry about it!
Hurry up, Barry!
I'm on it! I'm on it! Please tell me we're headed for the nearest "You're now leaving Bright Falls. Come back soon" sign.
We're going to the Anderson farm.
I knew you were gonna say something like that. You know what? You owe me big time for this. When this is through, if we make it, I don't care what anybody says, I'm done with darkness. You're gonna buy me a tanning bed as a gift, and I'm gonna live in it.
crazy, but that's fine, Barry.
Oh, you got that right, Al. You're barking mad. You are by far the craziest...
But maybe that's inevitable when you deal with crazy stuff like this. It helps. This is happening, Barry. Alice, they never had Alice. She's trapped in the darkness at the bottom of the lake, but she's not dead.
Al, how can you know that?
I know, Barry. I can...
Al,
No, listen. I can bring her back. I can find her. There's something special about this place. The lake, it does something to the works of art created here. It makes them come true. But there's a catch. The dark presence, whatever that thing is, twists it to its own ends. That's why all of this is happening. It's using my manuscript to take over everything.
Al, I believe you.
It happened to Thomas Zane before, it happened to the Andersons.
I believe you. Crazy or not, you're not delusional. Weird shit's going down. That's a fact. I'm on board, man. I'm with you.
The Andersons knew about it, but they were too far gone to tell me with all the drugs they were on. But they wrote it down. There's a message somewhere at their farm, Barry. We just need to find it. Look out!
God damn it, Al, talk to me!
I had lost my gun in the crash. Barry was nowhere to be seen. Barry! Barry!
Oh, man, you're okay! Jeez, it's good to hear your voice! I was trying to get out of the car, but the ground gave way. Man, what a drop! Don't worry, your cutout is fine.
Forget that!
My cutout is fine. Because that's my major concern. Oh, God, I hate Barry so much. Oh, my fucking God. Yeah, that's what I care about. My fucking cutout. Fuck.
Are you okay?
I hit some bushes, didn't get a scratch. There's no way you can climb down, though. It's like a sheer wall. Ah! Al! There's something moving down here!
Barry, it's a taken! Use a flare, Barry!
Yeah!
Barry, are you alright?
I'm good, Al! I'm great! Guess you never messed with anyone from New York City before, huh?
You know, the main reason I think Alan Wake is insane is because if I had an agent like Barry, I would have fired him a long time ago. And the fact that that Alan Wake hasn't fired Barry tells me that Alan Wake cannot possibly be sane.
Barry, just wait for me, okay?
Al! I'm not staying here! It's suicide! I'm going to the farm! I'm gonna go ahead and secure the area! You can catch up! Don't worry about it! I'm on the case!
Now he's Rambo. This would turn into a disaster if I didn't catch up with Barry. crawled over the gate. I needed a light to destroy them to get through. I could sense the movement in the woods ahead. Facing the enemy without a weapon was dangerous, but I had no choice.
Yeah, okay, so this part of the game is also really hard because I have no weapons now, and you don't get weapons in this scene. I think maybe you might get one or two flares. I'm not entirely sure, but it's literally a game of running towards the farm with like thousands of Taken coming after you and armed only with a flashlight that really doesn't do anything. It just burns the darkness shield away from them, but it doesn't actually kill them. So it's absolutely pointless. I also find it funny that whenever you find a flashlight at any point in this game, it's always on. Which logically makes no sense, because if the flashlight was left on for God knows how long, you'd figure that the batteries would be dead. Like, unless the darkness is like, oh, I'm gonna leave you this flashlight, which, again, makes no sense. Ooh, that was close. That was so close. I would have been dead there, actually, had I not turned on that light right on time. Was driving away from the farm, headed in the same general direction as I was. For all I knew, it was Barry, caught in the consequences of leaping before looking. The car was heading for the cabin up ahead.
It wasn't far. If it was Barry, I would see the damage soon.
I'm trying to deliver each page to the right time and place. I'm trying to show you how the story goes.
I had seen glimpses of the light before. I had seen it in my dream. It was a strange spaceman or a diver in a bulky suit. He was the one who'd been placing the pages on my path.
So the diver in the suit is actually Thomas Zane. So apparently, from my understanding, Alan Wake looks identical to Thomas Zane. That's why Thor and Odin, Thor and Odin were like, oh, they were calling him Thomas Zane, or calling him Tom, or Thomas, or whatever. It's because he looks like Thomas Zane, and Thomas Zane is voiced by that guy who was just talking, Thomas Zane. He's voiced by the same voice actor who voiced Max Payne. So anyway, Thomas Zane is the husband of Barbara Jagger, who's the witch, who's the darkness. So, from my understanding, she killed Thomas Zane. I don't. This entire story is kind of all over the place. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, it's there's a lot involved. Yeah, and then I think. So after we're done with this chapter, then chapter 5 I'll do another day, obviously. But at the end of the day, the thing that you need to get rid of the darkness, at least in the main story, is the clicker, which you briefly learn about in, I think, chapter 2. But yeah, so there's going to be a really long battle once I get to the farm, fighting a ton of darkness. And I believe I'm going to have to fight a lot here. So my goal, I need to get to this light that I'm seeing right there, way in the distance. That's my safe spot. So I need to run through all of this, avoiding these. These are bear traps. If I get caught in one of those, I'm dead. So I have to avoid all those and avoid the darkness as well. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least.
Someone had left a gun behind. Now I had a fighting chance of reaching the farm. I could see the car, but there was no sight of the driver.
Hello? Anybody here? Barry!
No! Danny, you're not! Please! What are you? No! Don't! I'm sorry!
The front door was locked. I know you. You were in jail the other day.
I went to the farm again for the moonshine, you know? It makes you see. They're not gonna miss it. They're in the loony bin. But my buddy, Danny, I lost him. Something's gone wrong with him. It's not him. Like a real bad follow-up to a real good movie. The best friend's suddenly the bad guy. Who wrote this crap anyway?
I've run through every possible course in my head. If I continue like the Dark Presence wants me to, the story I'm writing won't save Alice. It's a horror story, and it's going to kill her, and me, and everybody in this town. No one will survive. Darkness will consume everything. This is what it's wanted all along. It will be free, unstoppable. It used Alice to get to me, dangled her in front of me to keep me going. It was never going to release her. I'm going to change this. I'll escape. I've written myself into the story. I'm now the protagonist. This feels like a terrible risk, but it's the only way to save Alice. I'll be bound by the events of the story just as much as anyone else who's been woven into it. The story must stay true for this to work. There have to be victims along the way, near escapes, cliffhangers. In a horror story, it can't be certain that the hero will succeed or even survive. He almost has to die. I'll write my own escape into the story next. I need help. Zane's going to be the one who will help me. I'll make it happen. Yes, Danny, huh? I could climb out through the broken window. The farm was still a good distance away. I'd need a car to get there fast. If Barry wasn't up here, he was probably in trouble down at the farm. For a moment, I felt bad for doubting him. After all, I'd made it this far myself. But Barry was Barry.
The first time I played this game, I never really went to this lookout tower. I kind of just went straight to the farm to rescue Barry. I kind of want to. I'm going to check this tower out. Just because I saw lights flashing inside of it, so there's probably some taken up there. But I feel like there might be some weapons or some extra gear up there as well, and I'll take everything I can get because I know what the upcoming battle is going to be like.
Well, as I'm sure everyone's noticed, that storm we all felt coming is finally here. The boys at the Weather Service reckon it'll last until morning at the very least. Pertaining to that, let me read that missing persons alert again. The Sheriff's Department's still looking for a Caucasian woman, 30 years old, slim and blonde with blue eyes. She may be lost in the woods, and it's possible she's been injured in a car accident. If you see her, please make sure you get her indoors and call the sheriff. It's bad weather to be caught out in, so if you see someone in the area who maybe looks a little confused, give them a hand, all right? This is Pat Maine on KBF FM, hoping you're all safe and warm tonight.
I know I just reported someone missing and hurt. So I've decided that the appropriate music to follow this will be scary and ominous.
Hey there. My character didn't actually report anybody missing. It was, somebody, I guess, on the radio. It's in reference to his wife from the beginning of the game, who actually ended up dying, and I guess the townspeople of Bright Falls think that she's missing. I don't really get it myself, but they're definitely, the description was definitely Alan Wake's wife, who is most definitely dead.
I'd known the brothers used to be some kind of rock stars, but it hadn't really sunk in until I saw the stage.
Ow! Run! Incoming! There's too many of them!
God damn.
So glad you decided to go it alone, Mr. Bronson.
Shut up and shoot! Ow! We have to fight them off! I can tell for the fireworks from here and help you out! Hey, Al, did you notice there's a lot of ammo and stuff around? This place is stocked! Al, hold on! I'll try to get the stage lights on!
Bright Falls, rock and roll capital of America.
Hey, Al! This way to the farm! See, bestseller? No reason to worry. Your cutout's good as new, right where I left it. I'll come back for it once we have the place secured.
Yeah, that's been my biggest worry all this time. We need to get this thing moved out of the way.
He is such an idiot. Like, does he seriously think I give two flying fucks about some cardboard cutout? Like, toss it in the fucking woods, man. I don't want that shit. I don't even know why he's protecting it.
Hey, I think Alan Wake here has something to say. What's that, Al?
I'm Alan Wake. I'm always right about everything. And if I don't get my way, I'll sulk all day long. I'm always intense and moody. It makes me very attractive and mysterious. Right now, I'm just standing here because I need my best friend Barry to carry me. But that's okay. I can just take him for granted.
I think I see what you did there.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
You want me to do my imitation of Barry Wheeler? No? Thought so.
Here is my impression of Barry Wheeler. Damn, it doesn't let me shoot him. Ugh. Anyway, let's get into this damn barn.
Wow! You look at that thing, Al! They really went all out with this Viking crap, didn't they? Look at all this stuff. They must have done okay for themselves. So how come I never heard of these guys before?
And this from the guy who learned about Ozzy Osbourne through reality TV?
Sleep. We all spend a third of our dreams in a soft embrace, somewhere between fantasy and
Hey,
oblivion.
remember when I got you that gig?
But
Your
dreams
first
have a way
real
of
writing
forcing
job. What got
themselves
you
into
started?
waking life,
Was this one of your
or vice
episodes?
versa. In Night Springs. Tonight's episode, The Dream of Dreams.
That's by someone else.
We join Mr. Jones as he explores the endless dreamscape, only to be brought to a sudden stop by a decidedly mundane situation. A long line of people.
Hey, Jones, right? Listen, we're gonna have to wait until His Highness over there is good and ready. Oh, wow. Who's that? You don't know him? What are you, new? He's the guy dreaming us. Well, not just us. He dreams everything. All of this.
But wait, no. I'm the one who's dreaming. I'm asleep. Isn't this my dream?
Oh, yeah. Sure. Get real, pal. You're just another dream. I'm a dream. You're a dream. The weirdo in the diving suit is a dream. And the girl made of smiles and sunshine is definitely a dream.
But I'm pretty sure I'm dreaming this.
Well, maybe you're a really confused dream. What am I, a shrink? All I know is I'm going with the smart guys, and they say that's the guy doing the dreaming. Right there.
I don't know what that means.
It means we keep him happy. No sudden falls. We make sure he has his clothes on when he goes out in public. No chases where the monster is nipping at his heels and he runs like crazy, but his legs don't seem to get him anywhere. None of that. Because if he wakes up in a cold sweat... Yeah, precisely. So we wait till he wants to move on. Keep things nice and calm.
Hey, something's happening here.
Yeah? What's that?
What? Can't you hear that?
Oh, God help us, it's an alarm clock. Oh, it's you, isn't it? Please, man, I got a wife and kids. Please don't wait.
I'm Barry. I don't care about gun safety. Bang.
He doesn't really care about anything except for a cardboard cutout of Alan Wake. So Barry is supposed to be Alan Wake's agent. Alan Wake is a horror writer, and everything that Alan Wake writes is coming to life. Is basically the story of the game. So Barry only really cares about Barry and the cardboard cutout. Like, he is the most annoying character. I get that he's supposed to be comedic relief, but goddamn, is he ever annoying? Like, like he's just such a oh. Trust me, if I had the ability to shoot him at the beginning of the game so that I wouldn't end up with him here, I would have done it.
The Viking boat looked imposing, almost like a battering ram.
The Old Gods of Asgard, the 1975 Ragnarok Tour. Be awed by celestial wrath and fury. April 11th, Seattle, Washington. April 13th. I'm not going to read all that. Never mind. That's not important.
Use that live wire to charge your battery faster.
Trust me, I wish you could. You can't do that. You have to pick up lithium batteries throughout the game. And interestingly enough, in the original version of Alan Wake for the Xbox 360, so the original game was an Xbox 360 game. The remaster, the 4K remaster, is out on PS5 and Xbox Series X. So in the original game, when you picked up the batteries, they were actually Energizer batteries, and there was a lot of product placement in the game. And I noticed that with the remaster, they're just random ass batteries. They took out all of the product placement that was originally in the game, which is interesting, I guess. I guess it makes sense. This is a remaster, and they didn't want to pay for the product placement again and everything.
Those geezers had quite a production going on. Ooh, you know what, Al? If we make it through this alive, I'm gonna start representing them. Yep, sell this stuff online, maybe get a reality show going, release a new single.
Good luck with that, pal.
Hey, you find us a way out of here, okay? I'm gonna take a closer look at this stuff.
I'm an electrocution, trust me. Those look like AC wires, perfectly harmless.
Keep your eyes open, okay?
As you regular listeners know, I tend to work through the night, but I'm not the only one. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton are taking a couple of moments off their busy schedule to join me here in the studio. Boys, how busy are you now? Deerfest is almost here, isn't it? I bet that keeps you in business.
Pretty busy, yeah. Actually, Pat, we've been real busy with other stuff, which concerns an ongoing investigation. We can't talk about that, Thornton. I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just saying we got, other irons to fry.
And how would you compare your workload to last year's? Things have seemed relatively peaceful to me, but people do tend to get a little wild this time of year.
Oh, it's wild, Pat. It's pretty wild. There's been all sorts of trouble this year. Vandalism, fighting, public disturbances. A lot of people gone missing, too. Yeah, it's pretty much the usual stuff, Pat. Just, a lot more of it.
Now, is it just me, or does Deerfest get wilder every year? People seem to be more drunk, at least, or they start earlier And younger.
Oh, it's definitely not just you, Pat, but... Definitely, Pat. Hey, I'm talking here, Thornton. Oh, shoot, I lost my train of thought.
Not just me.
Oh, yeah, it's wilder, Pat, but actually most of the trouble seems to be coming from grown men. People who ought to know better, you know? Kids are doing fine this year.
Well, that's nice to hear at least. Boys, I want to thank you for stopping by. I'll let you get back to your patrol.
Sure thing, Pat.
Yeah, sure thing, Pat.
I could see the building that had to be the Andersons' home on the other side of the field. It wasn't far now. I wasn't worried about trusting the ramblings of two burned-out geriatric wrecks. They had the goods.
Al? Is that you out there, buddy?
Yeah, it's me. Hang on.
Hey, let's go, man. I think we're gonna have to work together to open this gate, Al. Looks pretty heavy. Ah! Hey, I think that's the farm on the other side of the field. We're almost there. This farm is a crazy place for crazy people.
We should feel right at home then.
Come on, one more gate. Let's do this. The lights are out. Guess we better check the fuse box.
The power power downstairs was out, but I was sure I could fix that at the fuse box.
Today.
Vum tomorrow. Vum yesterday. Vum the day before.
You know, this place looks kind of lived in. I thought the Andersons were in the booby hatch. Come on, Al, let's get the lights on, huh? Can you hear that, Al? Music?
Of course. We need to find where it's coming from. That's the message the Andersons talked about. That's the whole reason we're here.
Lady of the Light? Oh, that's gotta be... what's her face? The crazy lamp lady from the town.
Cynthia Weaver.
Right. Must be.
Okay. We need to find Cynthia Weaver. We'll stay here for the night and head back to town as soon as it gets light.
Hey, Al. Lots of hours before dawn. Might as well get some rest. And by rest, I mean drunk.
Come on, Barry, this is... Yeah, what the hell?
I'm sorry about this. No, seriously, because I know we don't get along, but we're gonna find her, right? Even though you're a crazy bastard, I'm gonna stick by you, no matter what, ever, Al. Sure, like a brother.
I'm a writer, goddammit.
Correct.
If I just wanted to, I could write 10 books a year. And they'd be the best books that year.
No, you couldn't.
That's right, I couldn't. But I could, because I'm a writer.
What? What do they put in this stuff? I feel like my brain is coming out of my nose. I'm gonna get the recipe off those coots and be a booze millionaire.
I just miss her, Barry. I just want her here with me.
I know, Al. I know. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna make it okay.
Good one, Barry. You have a brain. You're a funny guy.
A suppressed memory unearthed by the Andersons.
Yeah. He's more tolerable drunk, I find.
This was the night Alice and I had arrived at Bright Falls. The night Alice had disappeared. I had a chance to find out what had happened. I remembered being surprised to see the cabin dark. Alice would have never turned the lights off. I remembered thinking I caught a glimpse of her form underwater, sinking into the darkness. Diving after her was the last vague memory I had of that night. After that, the next thing I could remember was waking up behind the wheel of the crashed car and finding the first pages of the manuscript. Beyond this lost memory, there was nothing. I had to follow the footsteps of my past self to find out what had happened that night. I couldn't find her in all that blackness. I must have thought she drowned.
Alice!
Jagger had Alice, and so she had me.
Alice!
I'd been easy prey.
Look at the cabin. Is there someone in the window?
Alice?
Maybe she didn't drown after all. Maybe she's inside.
Alice!
The dark presence had touched me. She had dug her nails into my brain and used me, made me her puppet.
She must be here somewhere. Maybe upstairs in the study.
Alice!
Yes, that's where she is. You can apologize.
Alice!
You laugh at the whole thing together and put it
Alice!
behind you. She's not here. You were foolish to think so. No, she's dead. She drowned.
No, no, no!
It's your fault your wife is dead. You are guilty. All she wanted was to help you right. You killed her. Oh, hush. There's still hope. Cauldron Lake is a special place. Here, you have the power to change things. She wanted you to write. I will tell you what to do. You can write her back. The story will come true, and all will be well again.
She had Alice, and the manuscript was the ransom for her.
Yes. All right. I'll fix it. I'll bring her back. No. I wrote it.
I remembered it all now. In the dark, I'd written for days, a week, almost a complete manuscript of a novel entitled Departure. Jagger had been my editor, whispering in my ear, making sure that the unfolding story would make her more and more powerful. I thought I was saving Alice. Even with the cobwebs she put in my head, some part of me had been aware enough to write my escape into the story, to bring a light into the cabin to release me before I could finish, to interrupt the horror story before the ending, where darkness consumed everything and everyone. Zane was weak and far away, but I had written him into the story, and his light had been enough to set me free.
It isn't here now. I'm here because it was written. I brought the light to set you free. You must hurry. It will know I'm here. It will be back soon. It stole the skin of my Barbara a long time ago. She looks so old.
I had woken up, confused and groggy, my mind consumed by darkness and fear. All I could do was to escape. The week spent in the cabin had taken its toll. I was barely conscious, and fading fast. It had to have cost Zane terribly, thrown him even deeper into whatever dark place he now haunted. But he had managed to weaken the dark presence, kept me safe that night. my fault.
That's right, James Joyce. It's your fault, and you're gonna pay for it.
There's an old town road with mystery of Tom the poet.
Previously on Alan Wake. Under the influence of the dark presence, I wrote a horror story that is coming true. Jagger had been my editor, making sure that the unfolding story would make her more and more powerful. Some part of me had been aware enough to write my escape into the story.
Together we can create something absolutely wonderful.
The lake, it does something to the works of art created here. It makes them come true. My mom gave me this old light switch.
The clicker.
Alice is being kept in a dark prison. I need to find Cynthia Weaver to fix this.
It's your fault, and you're gonna pay for it.
Alrighty, so that was episode 4 of Alan Wake Remastered. We're going to be continuing on with the final chapter sometime within the next couple of days. So thank you to Sir Spankums for joining me this evening, and anybody else watching after the fact. It's always greatly appreciated. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you guys soon. If you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for future content. I cover PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, and VR games. If any of that interests you, please consider liking and subscribing. Please also check out the playlist section. If you missed any game playthrough, you can find it in the playlist section by category of game title. You'll also find a joint collaboration section. This is a section where I have worked with other YouTubers. You can find videos in there from those YouTubers. If you like what you see there, please consider liking and subscribing to them as well. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope you guys all had a blast today, and I will see you soon at the Gamer's Grotto. Thank you, and have a great evening.